Evil. It's a word that evokes images of monstrous figures and unspeakable acts. Yet the truth is far more unsettling. Evil often takes root not in the hearts of monsters, but in the minds of ordinary people. The descent into darkness is often a gradual process, a slow creep of twisted thoughts and fantasies that take hold in the fertile ground of isolation and resentment. The human mind is a complex and often contradictory landscape. We are capable of great love and compassion, but also of unspeakable cruelty. It is within the shadows of our psyche that dark fantasies can take root, nourished by negative emotions and a sense of alienation from the world around us. These fantasies, often violent or perverse in nature, offer a twisted form of escape, a way to exert control in a world where one feels powerless. The danger arises when these dark fantasies begin to consume the individual, becoming an obsession that warps their perception of reality. Resentment, a bitter poison that festers within, fuels these fantasies, transforming them from fleeting thoughts into deeply held desires. Each fantasy, each act of mental indulgence, chips away at the individual's moral compass, blurring the lines between right and wrong. The case of Ted Bundy, the infamous serial killer who terrorized America in the 1970s, offers a chilling glimpse into the progression of dark fantasies. Bundy, a seemingly charismatic and intelligent law student, hid a deeply disturbed inner life. He later confessed that his descent into violence began with exposure to violent pornography, which fueled his already existing sadistic fantasies. Bundy's case highlights the dangerous interplay between predisposition and environmental triggers. While not everyone exposed to disturbing content will become a killer, those with pre-existing vulnerabilities, such as a propensity for aggression or a lack of empathy, may find their darkest impulses ignited. The constant bombardment of extreme imagery can desensitize individuals, normalizing violence and perversion in their minds. What began as a fascination with violent imagery for Bundy spiraled into a compulsion for real-life enactment. He meticulously planned his attacks, often targeting women who resembled a former girlfriend who had rejected him. This speaks to the role of resentment and a desire for revenge in fueling his actions. Bundy's case serves as a stark reminder that evil can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly ordinary individuals. The descent into evil is rarely a sudden plunge. It is often a series of small, almost imperceptible steps. These micro-progressions, as they are sometimes called, involve a gradual escalation of fantasies and behaviors. Each step, taken on its own, may seem insignificant, even justifiable in the mind of the individual. However, like individual grains of sand accumulating on a scale, they eventually tip the balance, leading to a profound shift in one's moral compass. The human mind is remarkably adept at rationalization. We are masters at justifying our actions, even those that contradict our values. This is particularly true when it comes to our fantasies. We may tell ourselves that indulging in dark thoughts is harmless, that it's just a way to blow off steam. However, each act of indulgence strengthens the neural pathways associated with those thoughts, making them more likely to recur and potentially influence our behavior. The search for novelty plays a crucial role in this process of escalation. As individuals become desensitized to their initial fantasies, they often seek out more extreme or taboo content to achieve the same level of arousal or satisfaction. This can lead them down a dangerous path, exposing them to increasingly depraved material that further erodes their moral boundaries. What once seemed shocking or repulsive may become normalized, paving the way for even darker desires to emerge. While the responsibility for one's actions ultimately lies with the individual, it's important to acknowledge the role of societal factors in shaping our perceptions of right and wrong. History is rife with examples of attempts to normalize deviant behavior, often under the guise of progress or liberation. These attempts, whether conscious or unconscious, can create a climate of moral ambiguity, blurring the lines between what is acceptable and what is not. One particularly disturbing example is the historical and ongoing attempts to normalize pedophilia. Certain groups and individuals, often cloaking their arguments in the language of sexual freedom or challenging societal norms, have sought to lower the age of consent or minimize the inherent harm of sexual relationships between adults and children. These attempts represent a dangerous erosion of societal safeguards that protect the most vulnerable among us. The normalization of any form of exploitation or abuse is a threat to the very fabric of a just and compassionate society. It is imperative that we remain vigilant against such attempts, recognizing them for what they are, a perversion of values and a betrayal of our collective responsibility to protect the weak and innocent. We must be willing to challenge these dangerous ideologies, not with hate or censorship, but with reason, empathy, and an unwavering commitment to upholding the dignity of all human beings.